is Steam.
Right. I got you.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know that. Don't feel bad.
Don't, yeah. It's still cleanish energy kind of.
Well, in England, all their computers run off of peat.
Right.
Yeah.
The stuff they don't use for scotch, they
Mm-hmm.
right. Cool.
If you have enough peat and you make enough scotch, you don't need computers.
You don't. You
You get
just, you really
telepathy.
just, yeah. If you have a computer, right, and you have
Yeah.
enough scotch, you just throw the computer anyway. So
Eventually. Can you hear that fan? Is that fan? Can you hear like a whirring?
I cannot.
Let's do some A/B testing here.
Okay.
Take what you hear now, and then compare it with.
I can tell a slight
Is
difference.
that any better?
I can tell a slight difference. Yeah.
I'll keep it off. It's not.
I got you.
I'm
Cool.
not burning up. Okay. So I'm gonna keep Steam open here. It wants me to restart Steam. I'm gonna restart Steam. I had to do a little download because I don't know. I might show you a couple of little games on here. I don't know if you ever play like games. You're not a huge game guy. You've never been a huge game guy.
Not a huge, I was big into Excite Bike, and
Is that true?
I just no. I mean, I remember like I loved like the first Nintendo games. When they came out when I was like 10 or 11,
Oh,
I was like, this is the greatest thing. And then it just kind of left me, right? Because games were like $40, right? So that was like, back then, what was $40? It was like $80, And
yeah.
my parents were like, I'm not, no. Mm-mm. And then like eventually you could rent them, but I'd already kind of missed the
Now,
boat.
see, renting was like we would do. Uh, we would do a thing where we would had to also get the VCR for a time. Yeah, let
Yep.
me tell you a little
Yeah.
story. Let's open the stream by saying hello to everyone. What's up, Brent? I know you're here.
How you doing, Brent?
He says hello, Goofies. So he is
Cool.
here. I actually messaged Brent to make sure he knew that we were doing stuff.
Cool.
Because if he's not here, then what the hell? If we're talking to ourselves.
Then what are we doing?
We might as well be
Really?
on a phone call.
Might as well.
Uh,
Yeah.
so here's a fun story. My parents have never been great with money, and I'd love to form that like in a past sort of thing. Like when I was growing up, my parents used to not be very good with money, but I'm afraid that story just has not changed tenses yet. So, in the sake of honesty, I'm going to tell you they're not great now.
Right.
But here's what I will say: we never went hungry or anything like that. But there were some snafus. Now, my parents had a couch from Rent-A-Center, and it was a giant, hideous blue couch with like little flowers on it, right? Well, they came to repossess it, and because my dad, I guess, got behind on the payments, or my dad's also the kind of guy. Let me take this off here for a second. My dad's also the kind of guy to do stuff like you and I are the same way. I think maybe it's kind of a Texas thing. You can tell me what you think. You'll do something for the principle of the thing, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I right now have a bill that's outstanding that I will eventually pay, but it's for a dermatologist that I went to that made my skin worse.
Right. So
And then
there's
they send me a bill
principalities.
after. Like they let you
Yeah.
go and you go, "Hey, do I owe you guys anything?" No.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. And then you go home and you break out into a bigger rash, and then they want 300. And you're like, "What?"
Yeah. You're
And
like, well,
300 bucks isn't a huge deal,
what was
but
that for? You're
yeah,
like, well,
you're
I can.
like, you should pay me 300 bucks.
I think
So,
that you use me as an educational tool.
right now, it doesn't work anymore. You're welcome.
Yeah.
So, I think it was kind of one of those things where, like, it was maybe the principle of the thing where he was like, we've been paying this couch forever. You give us a bum deal on it. You change the interest rates on me. And so he's like, whatever, come and get it. So they come to get it. And instead of taking our couch, they got the paperwork mixed up and they took our VCR. Like, who are these guys that are so bad at their job, right? So they took our VCR, and my brother was shattered because Babe Pig in the City was in the VCR when they took it. We didn't eject it. They got an extra $6 out of us.
Yeah. And that was like the extended version, probably, director's cut.
Yeah. Director's commentary from the pig. So we didn't have a VCR after that. And I think that's how the story goes. If my dad is watching, he can correct me.
He's not there.
Not there. Just like in school. Athletics. Not here, are you, Dad?
No.
So anyway, we had to rent a VCR. Which, you know, like, you think, how much was a VCR? Dude, VCRs used to be expensive.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And they would rent them to you in these plastic cases that popped open, like if you ever had a doctor's kit when you were a kid that had like the stethoscope and the tongue depressors, it came in this almost like a flattened lunchbox.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those, only great big. It's almost like I have so many now, like Pelican cases now, how it's like that hard plastic so you can knock it around. You'd undo the flaps, flip it up, and it would just be there, you know. And then you wouldn't have to take it out of the thing. It had like ports out of the back where you just hooked it up to the TV. And you never had to take it even out of the plastic case, really. And so we would go get a pizza. And next door, of course, there was a VCR, like a tape rental place. And we would get, you know, Goonies for the 18th time or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I remember it was like a big deal. Like, I remember there was these two girls that lived next door to us when I was young, and before high school, I was in elementary school still, and
so you were only 6'7".
I was only I was like 6'2", you know, but only like 200 pounds. Only like 200 pounds.
Oh God!
But I remember that, and they were teenagers, and they would babysit us sometimes or whatever, and but I remember one of them had their birthday party.
No, wait, hang on. I'll get you back to birthday party. But seriously, though, what was it like to be in? How old were you?
I mean, I was always big, so you just kind of pick an age, and then I tell you what.
But how old were you when these two high school girls were babysitting you?
I mean, you know, probably like, you know, from like age like, I don't know, 6 to 9 or something like that. But it was mostly like I had a younger brother. I had a baby brother.
Right. Yeah, I had a similar situation too, where like even into like odd years where you were like 12 and 13.
Yeah,
there was somebody 15 there looking after you for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I remember. So they were like, I remember significantly. I think one of them graduated when I was like 9. Right. So they were.
Okay. Right? So they were well older than you.
Yeah. Because after that, it was pretty much, you know, all bets off, right? No babysitters, whatever. But I remember one of them had a party and had her friends over there, and
over your house?
No. They lived right next door.
Oh, I see.
And I can't remember why I was allowed to even walk in the house for some reason. But they had rented a VCR. And I remember one of the movies they had rented was Police Academy. And I was just fascinated by the fact that like a movie was on that little thing and you could watch it whenever you want and you put it in this box. And then, and I remember my dad, when he bought his first VCR, it was $400, which, you know, I mean, back then in like, you know, 1984 or whatever, that was a lot of money. Right.
Yeah.
And it weighed probably 60 pounds. And the first weekend he got it, him and I went and rented like 8 movies. Like we were going to even watch, you know. But
Like there's not
Yeah, I
even
remember
that
that,
many
man.
waking hours in
Yeah.
the weekend. You guys are
Yeah,
really
yeah. But do you remember like towards the end of the VCR thing when DVD players are starting to take like you could get a VCR for like brand new for like $30, or something like that.
I still think now I somebody gave me this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
because
they would give them away.
I get asked to digitize stuff sometimes, and like, so I have my house has turned into like it's actually pretty great. Brent knows this. You don't know this, Buck, but like I like people sit. I have within arm's reach of my workspace here. I have crazy like this camera from like I think this is probably from '99, but I just like it.
Yeah.
Like a, but it's like they're like, how many megapixels are on that? Like 50? No, dude, there's 6.1. 6.1 megapixels. Or like these, I have people send me these slides. Just like
Oh
old
wow.
slides.
Was that like microfiche or what the fuck is
No, it's
that?
they would put them in their projector slides. So they would put them like in a projector and you would have
Oh,
like
like
a
the old
thing,
school. Yeah, I remember that from
but
school.
not like
Like,
an overhead
choo-choo.
projector. And not the
No, but do
one
you
and
remember? Do you remember the ones they had that would make the noise when they had to?
it's like
It would go like, but they would like it would tell them when they were supposed to chain it. It would go like
oh yeah,
ding, and then they would go.
yeah. I forgot that.
I remember that's how we would watch the Nutcracker Suite in elementary
Oh
school, and it was like,
my god, that's not that doesn't take
yeah,
you out of the story at all.
no, not at all, not
I
at
also
all.
have great stuff like this. Here's a National Lampoon magazine, May 1985.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I mean,
Where'd you get that? Did
that's
you just have
badass.
that? Yeah,
Uh, Sometimes people give them to me. Sometimes I find cheap stuff places.
yeah.
I just heard a sound effect. Did you hear that sound? That
I did not
no.
hear that.
There must be a window open somewhere on here. As you can tell, I'm really great with the new technology too. Fucking like a bomb sound effect that just went off. Anyway, so that brings me to my first segment.
All
Crazy
right.
Con said he was all by himself after the divorce, and mom worked, and so he was like one of those latchkey kids you hear about. Now Buck and I had little brothers, so we couldn't. I guess we could have done that, but like I know for myself, I won't speak for you, but I had after school stuff, so like my schedule was so wacky, and I
Yeah,
was also kind of a rambunctious prick.
yeah.
You wouldn't have trusted your 9 year old to
Yeah.
a you know
Well,
a
yeah. I
17-year
mean,
old me.
yeah.
Well, maybe at
After
17, but
once I got into junior high and high school, I was definitely like after school. But elementary was walk home and we were hanging for a bit by ourselves. But I had an older stepbrother at the time. My younger brother was at like a babysitter, something like that. So
okay, so here's what I was going to show you. I found this on the internet. I thought you might really like it.
all right,
So it is. Let's see here. What are they calling this?
Saved by the Bell.
They're calling this a Saved by the Bell music suite. Now I listened to this first one here. I don't like it, but the second one, it reminded me of something that I have on my phone. And so we'll listen to these real quick. And they're just so funny that somebody ripped these out of the actual episodes.
Very
Okay.
positive music. Very
Yeah.
positive.
Ends abruptly. Okay. Oh, that's it.
I mean, it exudes confidence. The music does.
They're all
I would say.
slightly longer than you kind of hope they are, too. But this reminded me. I forget. I was just looking up some stuff, and I have on this my like. I have a bunch of things on this watch later list that I was going to show to you at some point. And then this
Mhm.
one came up because it's like a really old one that I must have put on there, I don't know, months ago. But I was glad I did because I was like, oh, I'll show them that too. But it's got a ton of these. Oh, here's a Christmas one. an uptown girl.
I mean, this is like the soundtrack to the Sears catalog. You know what I mean?
And then Screech walks in and goes, "Zach, you're not going to believe what happened." And everybody goes, "Oh wait."
Or I feel it's like a zoom in shot, right? So it's got people walking in the hall and it zooms up to 2 lockers that people start talking at. You know?
And he goes, "Hey, Preppy, this school's not big enough for the 2 of us." And you go, "Oh yeah? Well, there goes Lisa. Let's ask her what she thinks." And she turns around. She's wearing some cute outfit, and she goes, "Hey, studs." Right?
Nice.
And then let's see what else happens. Do you remember the this is an app called Pocket Sitcom that I think everyone should have.
It's awesome.
Excellent for like corporate meetings, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, whatever. And you get like do you remember that episode of the Brady Bunch where Greg finds the tiki head and he thinks it's good luck, but it turns out to be bad luck? You can
Brady Bunch comes back to me in very scattered
me too.
memories, right? So
yeah, we weren't kind of really old enough for it, I don't think.
It was more of a rerun type situation.
But there's a sound effect that happens every time they mention it, and they go, "Well, that's what Greg said about the tiki." Oh, damn it! I played the wrong one. That's what Greg says about the tiki.
That's
Isn't that hilarious? And then there's like Susan's gonna come in here and tell me to turn it down here and say she hates when I play with this thing. Oh, then there's a whole Batman suite that's like and then there's $6 Million Man. And then there's do you know any jokes?
Do I know it like off the top?
What were you saying? That's if you had a joke.
Oh, right. Then you get that.
And if you had a bad joke, it was it's good stuff. It's just good for the whole family.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to get that app.
Yeah, it's free. It's called Pocket Sitcom. And and the reason I brought it up is because it also has it has different levels of laugh. Like here's short laugh. Here's long laugh. But then here's the sort of like
little heart to heart.
Yeah. Which I think is one of these.
That is definitely cruising the street in a convertible.
Oh, wait, this one says heart to heart. Oh, I didn't see these. And then you got smooth. Then you got this guy, Martin.
Nice.
Shanae, I told you to come in here no more.
What about Mod? Is Mod on there?
Where's my Mod?
Damn,
no Mod. Gina, I didn't dry my socks.
Ooh, is that Knight Rider? Or who is that?
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Oh.
That one's called Lone Wolf. Here's the Western. Okay, that's about enough of that. All right. So moving on. What'd you think about the Horns game, dude? Kicking the balls, huh?
It's kicking the balls, yeah. You know, as someone who grew up a Houston Oilers fan and still has the comeback that Buffalo put on us burned into my heart, I don't think I should have had to endure that.
What year was that?
Was that 92?
Okay. So that was That was after the retirement.
That might have been 91 or wait, okay, hold on.
When Earl retired, it was 90.
That was that I think that I was in 8th grade, so I think that might have been 90, the 90 season. Yeah, it was the 90 season. I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, speaking of football, I've prepared.
Today I'm going to have my dad guess some NFL team logos.
I don't watch soccer.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is like a thing that people usually do with their girlfriend, but I thought this was a pretty good little twist on it. Let's see if I can fill the screen up here. Oh, no, I don't like that nearly as good. There we go. You tell me if you think these are good or not.
The Sun Whales. The Lucky Horseshoes. The Red Helmets.
No. Alrighty.
Okay, I got a problem with that one already.
Yeah.
First of all, that helmet is orange.
Yeah.
And
clearly
second,
orange.
it's also not the name of the team.
Mm-mm.
Very confusing. I can see why people would be confused.
That's fair.
Alrighty.
It looks like the top of a fancy gate. It's a scary looking chicken.
All right.
The Horny Helmet Men. Oh, I already know this. The Chicago Bulls.
No. Last one.
The Angry Woodpeckers.
I mean, you would think that he could at least guess the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean,
the
come
Vikings are what they look like.
A sharp
As well as the
banana.
Cardinals. I mean, I could see with the Charger thing.
I don't know
like,
if I would know a Cardinal. Have you ever seen a Cardinal?
Yeah, we have them. We have them here.
I don't feel like I saw any in California, but there's so many here.
Yeah.
Like that they really are pretty. They're really
You know, we also have in our neighborhood. We also have Roadrunners.
Oh, really?
Which are pretty cool, and we have one wild turkey that no one messes with. It will just roll around the neighborhood.
They're big. Wild turkeys are huge.
Yeah, and confident.
Real attitude problem.
Real attitude with that guy.
Flaming Horseheads.
No.
The Tigers.
That's a Jaguar.
The Blue Tigers.
No, there's no tiger. Okay.
Southern Fellas.
We're literally from New York.
The Jets.
No.
Looks like a Patriot.
Yes.
The Flagmen.
No. All right, last one.
Looks like an F.
Right. What bird starts with an F?
Flamingo.
Oh my god. Before you say anything, it's not the Giants. No.
It's another angry looking chicken.
All right.
I don't know, looks like a wave.
Okay.
The LA Wave.
No. Last one.
It's a buffalo.
Right. Okay.
With laser beams coming out of his head.
No.
Looks like the Tesla symbol.
I guess.
Flaming Elon Musk ball.
What? You can't get this wrong.
Yeah, there's no way it's that easy.
It's that easy.
And that's not the Jets.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's baseball. Last one.
He played the baseball.
Bear Claws.
Bear Claws.
Well, what am I supposed to say? It's just a C. The Caterpillars? It's got a B on its head.
Right, that's where they're from.
The Bangladesh Blue Jays?
What? If you're going to get any of them right, it's this one. And before you say anything, it's right in front of you.
Oh, I see the patch.
No, ignore the patch.
Pirates.
No. You can't.
I think it's about this time we feel like he is intentionally not getting it.
Now he's just going to refuse.
Yeah, you've gone overboard.
Dealers?
Yes!
Okay, enough of that guy. Ridiculous. Okay,
Shebanger.
now in the world of sports, moving on to angling. Well, they kind of ruined it right there, didn't they? Okay. So this is a young man who has been convinced to go on a boating trip with some other guys. And this guy loves the idea of catching a really big fish, you know? And the other guy said, you want to see big fish, you got to come out with us this weekend. We catch the biggest fish you could imagine. And the guy's like this big? No. This big? No. He's like, there's no way it's bigger than like my arms. He goes, they're like, yes. He goes, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I got to come see. Glenn says they have Glenn says they have peacocks in their neighborhood. You guys have that?
Not in my neighborhood. We don't.
Hi, Melissa. It's been a while. It's good to see you, or good to hear from you. Melissa Kennedy. I went to high school with Melissa. And
cool.
We kind of wound up running in some of the same circles in comedy years and years later. And I talked to her once, and she was in, I don't even remember where she was. She was somewhere I was, but it was her birthday, and we didn't connect. But I wish we had.
I got you. Doesn't that sum up your comedy career, though? Running in circles, isn't that kind of?
Mm-hmm. I'm funny. I'm funny adjacent. So they asked this guy to go fishing with them, and he reluctantly was like, "Well, if you're catching fish that big, I got to see this." And so this is sort of. He goes, I think the deal was they made him promise, if you come with us and we catch one of these fish that you say we cannot catch, then you have to pose with the fish. And I don't know if that means that he's getting ready to leave, or that this is the only way for him to pose with it, or maybe it's just the safest way for him to pose with it, but he's going to pose with it in the water, which he was not prepared for. And I don't even know if he swims or not, but I don't know that I would get in the water either.
Yeah, I like to.
I don't think I would.
For the ground?
Yeah,
for the two?
For the thumbnail.
Oh, if it's for the
Thumbnail, bro.
Dude, Mike, just hop
He
on
seems
it.
excited.
No. Hey, I don't think I'm gonna float.
Holy shit.
No.
Look at the size of that
Get me
fish.
out, get me out. No.
Is that a big grouper?
Hey, y'all.
I don't know what that
No.
is.
Please don't let me. No.
No, you're good.
It's like a big ass grouper.
No, I'm not.
I've seen this a million times.
He's holding on to
Bro,
both
please,
the
promise,
fish
You
and
want me to get in with you? I'll get in with you. Hold on.
Look. Hold me slowly until I float.
Okay.
hold me slowly until I
You got the
float.
weight jacket on, man. You're good.
No.
You're good.
You're floating.
You're good.
No.
Hold
You're
your
good. You're floating right now.
I will say this: that life jacket's
Hold on
not
to the
fastened
fish.
right.
No, it's not. It's not protocol.
Oh,
Get him.
he is hanging on by his tippy finger.
Give me up! Help! Give me up!
How is he going to lift a grown man out of the water?
Get me up, bro!
Live. Mike. I think we got something viral.
Oh my god, dude.
I gotta wipe off my camera.
That's okay. I could have taken a fin to the ear on that one.
Mike, you wanna catch another one?
No.
Hey, that thing bit you.
Guys, help me make this the most viral video. Help me make this #1 trend on YouTube. Hey, hit that like button. I really don't know how to swim, or else I'll be hitting the sickest thumbnails, and I couldn't. Please let this video be the most. I'm out.
Hey, I could vouch that this boy can't swim because I've had to dive in this one a few times. So
Let's get it.
this is all true stories right here.
Come on, pull, Brian. Pull.
I'm trying.
Why would you? I mean, it seems like you're asking for trouble.
You're absolutely asking for trouble. Like, that thing's got that big for a reason, because it's not it knows when, like, you don't joke around with it kind of deal. So.
Yeah,
But I
guess you're also right. Like, those are the types of animals that don't get, like, they're only that big because they've lived that long.
Right.
Like gators. Like, you can tell how
Yeah.
old they are by how big they are.
Yeah. That's that's some shit you do in your 20s.
Mayonnaise on an escalator. It's going upstairs, so see you later. My body's to the sky. I wanna see you as you get as a high. I know you're not in the state, you're escalating away. Out of my life, and out of my day. But back me now, I wanna see you again. Give me my mouth and may your days and pray may I days. May your 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 days. From an escalator.
Okay. Oh, well, that's that guy again. So that happened. You ever heard that version of the song? You ever heard Sammy Hagar sing with AC/DC? Because that's what that sounded like.
I mean, I haven't, but I feel like I have now.
Now you feel like you have.
Nah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Here's
Yeah.
another thing I wanted to show you. I know we're kind of ripping through these without much
Let's rip through them.
afterthought, but this is a woman that's recently
Okay.
come into my life. And you're going to love this part. Her name is, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and tell. Okay.
No, it's,
You may have
Yeah,
seen
back.
it on the playlist.
I didn't. Is it Becky?
No, it's not. It's Lily Hayes.
Oh, wow.
Do
You know what?
Have you ever heard of Lily Hayes?
I have.
You have?
I've heard.
Have you ever heard of this?
It's a song
Lily
lyric.
Hayes?
It took way too long for you to figure out what the actual lyric.
Gonna make inside, gonna make inside, gonna make inside.
Okay. This Lily Hayes is a. I want to say she's at least 70-year-old. I want to say Israeli,
Okay. Yeah, I could say that.
but
Sounds-
maybe Russian woman. And she seems like she's really always up for like kind of a good time, like a really fun time. But
Mhm.
then she inevitably like gets pissed off.
Right.
And when she's like fully dressed up, her son, I think, puts her in like outfits and has her sing songs and stuff. And that part is never the funny part. The funny part always comes after when she's had a little bit enough of it.
My favorite makes a woman, gonna make inside, gonna make inside, gonna make inside. My favorite Mexican woman, my favorite Mexican woman, my favorite Mexican woman.
That's it. That's what we got.
My pronouns are he, not him. Because I'll never be him.
A little art update. Mom is 198 days old as an artist today.
I mean, look, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Like a bird on a tree.
I'm not buying any of it.
I love the sound.
I'm just sitting here. I got time.
They all kind of look
That's-
like her.
It's clear to see from up here.
They all kind of look like her, though. Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, at least she's having fun.
Star Wars characters.
Who's this?
This is Kaka.
Oh, this is the same kind of thing we saw earlier.
Say what again, you motherfucker?
What's his name?
Say what again? Yogurt already! This is the girl who sing the song when the guy is on the skateboard drinking the juice. I don't remember the guy's name. What's his name?
What's her name, bro?
Her name? Sultana. I don't know her name.
Sultana. People do overuse bro, though. Like, you don't look at your grandmother and say bro. It's overrated.
Well, you would say that, but she calls him bro also when she gets really mad.
That's fine. She can get away with it.
I'm not cool with this.
Under your tongue. You want to try?
Oh.
He's sweet.
Flaming hot Mountain Dew.
That's a
He's
thing.
sweet and spicy, and it gives you like the schnook under your tongue. You want to try the new drink? Do you want to get the schnook? Go to the Dew store. Live. They have the drink. They have merchandise. Go for it. Ciao. Neighbors invited us for linguisini. Do you know what that linguisini means? Because I don't know. She said, do you want to come with your linguisini? What the hell is linguisini? Food, dessert, what it is, friends.
Awesome.
Don't you know? Ice cream is good for you.
Oh my God.
I mean, you got to proclaim it. If you don't believe it, nobody else will.
Say it loud. That's Lily, and she's proud. So what else is going on, man?
Man,
that's about all I've got.
Not too much. I mean, you know, just wishing one of my sports teams would just quit making it so hard. And
Are you sticking with the Texans?
I mean, I got nowhere to go on that. Really with pro football, it's easy. I mean, I'm like, what am I going to do? But it's easier for me to root for individual players, you know, with pro football, right? Because a lot of those guys are like, you know, like if a Longhorn goes to whatever, New England or what, I'm going to like want to see them do good, right? So,
all right.
But I mean, college too.
I can't get behind that. That's how I am about baseball a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like I'll find a pitcher or two that I think is entertaining.
Yeah.
So
my thing is that because in pros, because they move around so much, not that college isn't getting that way now, but in the pros, because they move around so much anyway, it's easy for me not to, you know, with the Texans, like they're from H-Town and I want to be about them, but I think the ownership isn't very good. And I'm like, you know, and of course there's all the other stuff going on. So, you know, it's just hard. I don't know what to do.
Well, I know another time that you were confused in life.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me how you got out of that situation, because I was not around for this. Apparently, at the house at 704 Franklin, you were a little late to a party one time, meaning that you showed up and they didn't live there anymore. And Glenn wants you to tell that story.
That happened.
I actually don't know this story.
That happened.
We'll tell the backstory so Brent knows.
Well, so there was this lovely house on Franklin that had a very lovely front porch and a very unique kind of building, old house. A lot of fun there, a lot of memories, a lot of good buddies that lived there.
During college.
During college. This is college. And the 90s, the late 90s.
And we would just kind of let ourselves in most of the time.
There were no real rules.
No.
You know, there were no. I mean, you didn't have to.
The rule was make yourself at home.
You didn't have to be on the lease to sleep there. You just had to be there. And so, you know, we didn't really text or anything. So if you went like a week without talking to somebody, they might move. You know, they might pack their shit up and leave, and you wouldn't know if the door wasn't locked. So I was like, man, I want to go get into some shit tonight. I'm just going to go over to Franklin. Somebody's going to be there to hang out. So I walk in.
Hold on. Hang on.
Go ahead.
How long has it been since you? Now, granted, this was 1998 or something, probably
97, 98.
So we didn't have cell phones.
Or 99, 98, something like that.
But how long had it been since you had been over there and seen the people that you were going to see?
Oh, man, probably like a couple of weeks. I mean, in my head, it was like a couple of weeks. I don't know. You know what I mean? So at that age, I was just stumbling through my days, right? So I walked over and Austin was a much more chill place back then. So it didn't look different on the outside. Whoever moved in certainly hadn't cleaned up. Or put down grass or mulch or anything,
or bothered to repaint or anything.
And I don't even think I paid attention to like the vehicle situation. I just
was it dark?
No, I mean, from what I remember, it was like, I don't know, dusky, sandusky. I don't know, but so the door was open.
Sandusky was there.
Yeah, I mean, it had that vibe. Franklin always had that vibe.
It really did.
So I walked in, the door was open. I walked in, I sat down, and I was like, and surprisingly, it didn't look all that different, right? Like the quality of furniture was pretty much the same. Kind of the complete lack of anything on the walls or anything, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of
the layout was similar. But were you paying attention or?
Not at first, right? I just walked in, sat down, and I was like, vibing. And I sat down, and I want to say I was even like, who the fuck's here? Whatever, and nothing happened. These people were probably like up in their rooms, scared or something.
When was the first time you had an inkling that you were?
I just started looking. I just started looking around, and like I was like, things look different, And I was walking. And I was like, the first thing I noticed was like that there was a different bed. Remember how like Ben was like in that day room? That was like his bedroom. Do you remember that?
Yes, it had double like French doors.
French doors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's not that's a good looking bed, And,
yeah, he had like a trundle bed or something.
Yeah, and I was like, the pillows match, and you know what I mean? It was just, I was like,
a responsible person sleeps there now.
So then I just started noticing, and I was like, oh shit, and I just remember I was like, well, the kitchen is, there's like flowers, you know what I mean? It was just like spruced up a bit.
It didn't smell like garbage.
Yeah, it didn't smell like garbage.
Yeah,
and,
that should have been a big red flag.
So I was like, and I knew I did know that eventually that the time to move out was coming up, but I thought it was, they were like a month out or something like that.
Well, that's also what happens like in a college town. Like you
just get
roll them quickly.
Right? And I just remember I was like, oh, I just walked out, got in my car and hauled ass. That was it. And I don't remember what I did after that because I don't think I knew where anybody was living. I was like, I don't know where the fuck to go. So,
how did we ever get a hold of each other? That's the weirdest part about being friends before cell phones. Like, you had to really be at a place, and
you had to
promise to come back to that place.
Yeah.
I think about that now. Like, what is love? Like, what is a marriage? Like, what is family? But a group of people that promise to keep coming back to the same place.
Yeah. And that,
and keep the promise.
Well, remember also, like, if like it was a big deal, like you couldn't necessarily. Eventually, I feel like you could, but like if you moved, like it was a whole new number, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
with the landline.
The only saving grace behind that is that most of those guys had their own phone number. Like I think Mike had his own. Glenn, did you have your own number upstairs? And I think Russ had his own. There must have been 6 phone numbers in that place.
It was also around that time like cell phones were showing up, but you couldn't tell.
Glenn says, what? Glenn said he had a cell phone in '89.
I mean, there were cell phones. They were this fucking big. They were the big hand. I mean, they weren't like a practical thing.
He mistyped. He meant 98.
Oh, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is people had them, but everybody had landlines too, right? Like I didn't have one in '98. I didn't have a cell phone in '98.
I was trying to think of this the other day. And some girl, maybe even like a friend of Mike's, Diana, gave me an extra cell phone she had.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
Like,
I
I
don't
don't know
think I
who's
got
playing,
one. No.
but I had that phone for 4 years and I never paid $1 on it. I never, and I'm not saying I don't remember her because I don't remember her. I don't remember her because I didn't really know her ever. Like, I just eventually sort of forgot her name probably because I only met her like twice.
Right.
And I had that phone for, I mean, maybe we made out or something. I don't remember what the deal was, but I never paid $1 on that phone. And I had it for like 4 years. And I finally got my own plan, you know, where I was like paying for it. But it makes me wonder, like, who paid. Of course, back then you couldn't use phones for all the things that you could use them for. Now it's like
there wasn't data.
Yeah.
Hold on, real quick. What's up, buddy?
Glenn, your first was in '94. I would have been in high school. Still,
special guest and place to be at about this time.
What does he say?
He just says, "Dad, Dad, Dad."
Are you teaching him how to cook at all yet?
A little bit. He knows how to flip a steak, which is good. Yeah,
it's a good little life lesson to learn.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, like, people had them, but like you did, and even most people were like, "Oh, don't call me on it until after 6 or whatever," you know. And most people didn't have them.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. So
Glenn said he had the brick in '94.
The brick was like had the hand strap, had the big antenna.
I think that was the car phone.
Yeah,
the car phone was around for a little bit too.
Car phones were good. They looked like you were doing recon in the jungle or some shit like that. They were massive, you know.
You'd have a backpack that somebody else cranked.
Yeah. 269er. Anyway, hey, I think I got to wrap up, bro. I got problem.
That's absolutely fantastic. I like that we wrapped it all the way back around to Saved by the Bell.
That's right.
How we did that.
Saved by the Bell.
All right, man. Well, it was good talking to you, and I look forward to doing this again.
Yes, sir.
And this is Matt and Buck signing off. Say hi to the family. Kiss your wife. Hi. And
hi, brother. Y'all be safe, man. And thanks,
right.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Yeah. See you, Glenn. See you, Melissa. See you, Brent. How do I end this? How do I end the goddamn